Hello. Hello. Welcome to the live. I'm just going to wait for a few more people to join and answer a few of your questions. So please use the box to ask questions that I can answer. My name is Alison. I am a dancer, a professional dancer, and I freelance, but I also of kind of coaching you guys on here and helping anyone understand the world of dance a little bit better, or just get to know me a bit better as well. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. For one, I'm obsessed with cats, so pretty obvious. Yes. Sorry, I've never done this before, so it's all very new. Hi. Hello, Casey Grace. Thank you for joining. Are you a dancer? Do you train, or are you just here to get to know and ask questions? It's so nice that you joined. Thank you for joining. It's my first proper ever YouTube live. So yeah, it's nice to have someone here to watch, and I really appreciate it. But yeah, this is my space that I teach in. This is where all the magic happens. And with dancing in your home space, it's kind of all about just having a mat that you can kind of warm up on and stretch on. And then also you can have a bar to dance with. And I just use this fabulous bar of mine. So I can just do a lovely full ballet bar with my clients, and they can see me head to toe, and I can dissect their technique that way. And it works really well, to be honest. It's kind of the most amazing thing I think I've ever done as a dance teacher and just as a dancer. I absolutely love being able to train my students no matter where I am, no matter what job I'm doing in the world. You know, it could be anywhere, and it's just amazing to be able to still connect to people. But yeah, let me know your questions. Let me know a little bit about yourself. Do you dance? Where in the world you're calling in from? And any other question, I'm going to answer them all. So just pop them in. Hey, Sai, how's the weather in the UK? Yeah, as Casey Grace said, it's horrible. It literally just started raining in the last maybe hour. I was just coaching, and me and my client were like, they also live in the north of England. So we were all like, oh, this is horrible weather. And it's not the best. But I have to say, I kind of love it because you get to have no guilt about staying inside, cozying up, and just doing nothing. It's really nice. Or like doing something fun, like watching a film or baking or something that just makes you feel nice and cozy inside. I love that. And cuddling up with like your cat or something. But yeah, great question. Where are you guys all based? Whereabouts in the world are you calling in from? I'm here in the UK. I'm obviously not from the UK, as you can hear. I am Irish. So I just live in the UK. You live in the UK as well, Casey Grace. Awesome. Sai, I'm actually at work. So are you going live? I might get in trouble watching while at work. Please don't get in trouble. That would not be good for anyone. You need to keep your jobs. But I appreciate the support. Thank you very, very much. And yes, to anyone else watching, thank you. I can't even believe that there's 4 people right now that are watching and that bothered to join and support. It means a hell of a lot more than you'll ever even know. Casey Grace, is being a dancer good? Yes and no. So I think you have to have a personality type that suits being a dancer. And there's obviously lots of different realms of dance that you can go into. So the most traditional is to go into employment. So working for a cruise ship, working for a company, working, with a team of people that give you a salary. That sort of thing is really common. And unfortunately, that tends to be quite tough because usually the pay isn't great unless you're in one of the few top companies in the world. And because the competition is so high and the standard is so high, that means that there's a very small percentage of people getting those jobs. So that can be really tough. And then it can be amazing too. So that means you have consistent work, you have consistent pay, and you know where the work is coming from. Hello, I do not know how to say your name. I'm so sorry. Oner, I'm not going to even butcher your name because it's too beautiful. I'm not going to do that. But hello. And yes, so that kind of career path can be really good for people who like consistency and they know where their paycheck's coming month by month and they know exactly what to expect from their year or their 6 months with a company. What I do is the flip side of that. So I'm actually a freelancer and I really like it. With freelancing comes variety, oh, your name's Oleg. Hello, very nice. Oh, thank you, Sylvia. I appreciate that very much. Bye, Sai. Nice to meet you. Yes, so with being a freelancer, you get variety, you get to try loads of different jobs. You're not just doing the same choreography every single week, every single day for months and months. Sometimes if you're in a West End show, it will be the same show every single night, sometimes twice a day. So that can be really, really intense mentally and physically. Hi, Rob. You love my videos. Thank you so much. I appreciate that more than you'll ever know because I spend a lot of time making my videos and took a little bit of a break. So it's so nice to come back and have people really appreciate what you're doing. So thank you. Thank you so much, Casey Grace. I'm sure you are also an amazing dancer. Thank you, Reza. I really appreciate that. That's so, so kind. You are all lovely. Thank you. Yes. So essentially, you get variety. So I could be one day on a job for a film. That could be a couple of weeks. And then the next week, I could be doing one random job for an event, or I could be doing a theater performance, or I could be doing a show in an amazing venue, or I could be traveling to Paris to do a certain job and then somewhere else another week. But the only issue is you are very much in control of your own busyness. So you can't wait for people to come and hand you jobs. You can't come and wait for things to land in your lap, because if you do that, you'll be waiting a long time. So you really do have to be positive, proactive, and keep your chin up and kind of go for it. It's very similar to being an actor, I would imagine, because I'm not predominantly just actor. I'm dancer, singer, actor, do a bit of everything. So yeah, you just have to be really on it and really strict with yourself. And that, I think, is the hardest thing I find, is I sometimes keep expecting that workflow to be there, and sometimes it's just not going to be. Let me answer some of these. You sound so busy. I can be busy, and usually yes, but there are those periods where it goes quiet and that's stressful. So then I'm busy again trying to get work again. So it's busy. Excuse me. I can only waltz and line dance. That's about it, lol. Yeah, I mean, that's dancing, isn't it? Is it possible to do a live show now? Well, I could do a little ballet bar at some point. I'm going to wait for maybe some more people to join, answer a few more questions, and then maybe I'll teach you guys some basics and you can follow along. That would be really fun. Gotta go back to work. Well, enjoy work. Excuse me, I've just recovered from a bit of a cough, so Apologies for the horrible cough going on. But yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to do a little ballet bar. So give me a sign if you'd like to follow along with that and if it's something you'd be interested in, because I'd absolutely love to teach you guys a little ballet bar. Firstly, has anyone done ballet before or not? Answer for me, please. Oh, amazing. I'm also going to tune in my live on a few other things while I do that and get ready, and then we can all go together. All you'll need is essentially what you would use for a bar. So if you have a bar, if you have a chair or the back of a chair or even a wall, something like that works perfectly. I'm just going to grab my tripod stand in here, and then we're going to go for it. So I'm just going to get this ready. This is my first live ever, so I don't know if you can tell, not the most organized, but I'm going to be doing these weekly, so you can join back in, you can train with me, and we're going to go live together doing ballet bars. It's going to be amazing. Okay, so once I have this set up, we're going to get started. So grab your chair, grab your wall, whatever you're using, and we're just going to go through a plie exercise together, and I'm going to talk you through everything. It's going to be nice and fun. You're in the comfort of your own home. So sorry. That cough is not going anywhere. Okay. Fabulous. You're okay. Don't worry. You might have a few visitors in and out of the Zoom or live as well, so apologies about that, but that's okay. Thank you guys. You're so kind. But yes, let me know, has anyone done ballet before or not? Okay. We are nearly there. You have done ballet. Oh, amazing. Oh, bye. Have a good day. Oh my gosh, guys. I've just got my tripod stuck. 2 seconds. Oh, okay. That's better. My goodness, it's all going downhill. Right, let's start on here. So you've done ballet. What have you done in ballet? Give me an idea, and we can kind of base the class on that. Oh, amazing, we're started. I'm also going to go live on my TikTok as well. There we go, we're all set up. Okay. I forgot because I did it when I was 3. Yeah. I understand that. Ballet can be something that kind of you forget about or you just lose track of. Let me just get rid. Whatever's on my face needs to go away. There we go. No, that's still there. Let me just get rid. I'm not enjoying whatever is going on. There we go. Now I look like myself. That's better. Okay. So I'm going to be doing a little ballet bar. People can follow along. And yeah, I'm just going to talk you through the basics. So if anyone has any questions before we start about ballet or just for me generally, we're going to start. Let me know if you'd like to know, if you'd like to let me know your level of what you've done. So we know some people have done ballet when they were 3. Excuse me. Awful cough. Sorry, guys. Some people have done nothing. And some people have a bit more experience as well. So whatever you've done, please shout it out so I have an idea. What is that accent? My accent, I'm Irish. So I was born and raised in Ireland, and both sides of the family are Irish, but I live in the UK. So yes, that's what that accent is. But I just have a very strangely subtle Irish accent. I mean, it's subtle to me. Maybe it's not subtle to you. And yeah, I kind of just, I don't know what's going on with it. It's just kind of happened this way. But yeah, so ballet bar time. So just to give a lowdown of what I do and kind of how I structure my classes, I always start each class with a check-in, a catch-up. So there's Millie, similar to what we're doing right now. So if you can see, sorry, Millie's on this side. Oh, no, she's on the other side. There she is. The famous cat that really takes all the attention because she's the best. She steals the show in every single video I have ever done. With her in it, she's the secret sauce because she's just the star, you know. I'm just the vehicle for her to have stardom. Genuinely, she's just amazing. But yes, what was I saying? Yes, every class starts with like a Q&A kind of check-in, not Q&A, a check-in like this. So I'll chat to my client, I'll check in with how they are, how their week's been. They become like friends to me as well. So we kind of check in. I ask what they've been up to, and they like to tell me what they've been up to. And then from there, we kind of get to know like how their body's been feeling, if they had any aches, pains, niggles, or, you know, if they've done a lot of training or not, or if it's kind of just been a bit more of a relaxed week, how they got on with their practice, all that sort of thing. And then from there, I always make sure to, yeah, just kind of make sure we tailor the classroom, their energy level, and what they can provide that day. Unless they're someone training to be a professional. And then I always make sure that like they are really locking in and they're not just, you know, trying to get out of doing a really hard class, because I always like to push my clients really, really hard. Don't I, Millie? Yes. Yes, I do. Sorry, you can't see her down here. She's just being absolutely adorable. Yeah, so that's kind of the gist of it. And then we start off with a mobilization warm up, engaging the core and any area of the body that each client specifically needs. So if my client needs to focus in on turnout, if they need to focus in on inner thigh engagement, if they need to focus on their back strength, their abdominal strength, whatever it is, that's what I'm here to kind of pick out. Okay, this is weaker, this needs more strength, this needs more support, and then we go from there. So yeah, that's kind of what I do. Then I take them through it whilst watching the screen really intently, and I come back and forth from the camera to the mat so they can watch me and feel guided, but then I also keep an eye on them and give them corrections and call out. And then from there, I always make sure we go into a specific bar for them. So I don't do a whole bar. A normal bar might have like 10 exercises or 6 exercises or whatever. It'll go through from pliés to tendus to glissés to rond de jambes to frappés to fondus to you know, everything all the way up to grand battement. We don't have time to do that in my classes. And unless that student is working towards an exam or a specific goal, we're not going to do that. I'm going to pick out maybe 1, maybe 2 bar exercises, and we hone in on that. So it might be, we're going to do a specific rond de jambe, and we're going to hone in on the articulation of the foot and the rotation in the hip and the turnout. So That might be an example, but we'll do a version of that works to them. And if you've never done a rond de jambe or a plie before in your life, that's where I will teach you how to do that. So I will actually break down each movement. So we'll always start right at the beginning and just really, really, really make it super, super focused on detail. And then from there, we'll go into the center practice. And again, we'll focus in on center practice technique and specifics for that. So yeah, it's kind of all about the individual and basically you at home watching. It's about what you can do and what you can't do, and then trying to knit together to get you on the right track. So I have to have a class. I always have like a consultation class where I get to know your ability level, and then we go from there. So yes, we're going to start right at the beginning of bar. I'm not going to take you through a warm-up because I'm going to assume that you guys, have moved a little bit today and nothing's going to be too intense. But we're going to start off looking at your standing posture. So if you are in your space, just step back from the camera just far enough that you can kind of stand up. And we're just going to look at your standing posture. So I'm just going to straighten up the camera a little bit. Lovely. There we go. So you're going to start off with your bar in hand. And we're going to start in a parallel standing position. So we have plenty of things to think about when we're just standing. So let me just bring this camera a little bit closer. There we go. That's a little bit better, isn't it? Yes. So there's plenty to be thinking about just standing. Just standing should have you almost sweating in dance class. You should almost be kind of, getting a little bit like hot and using your muscles. So I want you to think about your pelvis, your rib cage, your shoulders, your knees, your ankles. Really important to have all this aligned correctly. So the first things first is your weight placement in your feet. You want to have what they call a tripod foot. You want to have 2/3 of your weight in the balls of the feet and 1/3 resting gently on the heels. So you want to play around with that weight placement, just kind of rocking forward to back and just really finding the weight far enough forward that you can rest a little bit of weight on the front of the heel, and then the rest is kind of in the toes and the balls of the feet. So you could rise up at any point and you're not too far back. That rising up causes you to do a whole transference of weight. You're already kind of there and ready to go. And it's just a way to be really actively standing with the correct placement. And that's why dancers can quickly transfer their weight in different steps, because we're always forwards with our weight, not back on our heels. That also allows us to free up the front of the body and to engage down through what we call the posterior chain. So the muscles that run down the backs of the legs into your back allow you to engage correctly. I've just realized I blended with my TV. This isn't a great look. I swear I'm not just the shape of one rectangle. I should have worn a different colored top. I've just realized. So you can't really see very well. So maybe I'll just pull on a different colored top really quickly so you guys can actually see what my ribs and my spine are doing, because it's really important. Let me just check in before we move any further along. Lovely, lovely. Thank you guys for joining. Please stay with me for 2 seconds while I just grab my other top, and I will be right back. Okay, we are back in business. And guess what? We have a white top. So now you can actually see what's going on, and it's not just some mysterious black blob on your screens, which is never what we want. So we're back. Okay. I'm trying to keep up with all of your questions. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining. Hello, hello. You've all stuck it out. I'm very, very happy that you didn't disappear. Lovely stuff. Enjoy your family dinner. Okay, so we are going to look at the upper body posture as well. So now that we have the weight forwards and not back on the heels, it allows us to correct so much more in the body. So the next thing we're going to think about is engaging through the front of the quad and pull up the kneecap. If I let my knees hang soft, it means that my knee joint is very exposed, and you know that feeling when you lose your knee joint and it kind of let go, and it's a horrible feeling. The muscle that you need to pull up in order to have control of the knee joint is really important, especially when you come to do things where you're in a pirouette position. If that knee is not really pulled up and really strong, you're going to end up injuring that knee, and it's going to be soft and it's going to be twisting and it's going to be moving around, and that is so not what we want. Okay, so that's really, really important. So we're going to pull up the front of the knee. It's almost like, you know, that when you pull up the kneecap and you see the little knee patellas lifting up. It's that engage. So you want to engage through the seat and through the front of the quad. So to feel it in the glutes, imagine you are doing a big jump into the air, and those muscles that you used are the muscles that gently engage as you're standing. Okay, now we've made it to the pelvis. So we've made it this far, which is great. The pelvis has a lot of mobility. Not in everyone, but most people, you know, they can tuck it under, they can tip it forward. In ballet, our hips never lift up and down horizontally. They always stay completely in line. So if you're doing a ballet class and your teacher isn't correcting you, and your hips, one hip is sinking down or one hip is lifting up, or you're doing a développé and you're lifting one hip, no, that is wrong. Okay, so that's a big no. You want your hips, no matter what you're doing, to stay completely square. If they're moving around, you've lost your technique and it's gone out the window. So it's really, really important that you do not let this happen. Let's talk about the pelvic placement forward and back. So a lot of people in ballet, especially male dancers, have what we call a lordosis shape to their lower back, which is basically where they let their pelvis tip forward and it lets their rib cage go and their abs go. And this is impossible to hold turn out. What you want to do is you want to imagine your tailbone is dropping to the floor. That allows you to squeeze and engage your glutes, and also allows you to rotate your thighs, close the ribs, and then all of a sudden you've got this fabulous standing posture. That's all to do with stabilizing your pelvis. And like I said, you drop the tailbone, all of a sudden you can turn out and you can close the ribs. So I want you to imagine you've got like a corset around your ribs, and the ribs are interlacing together and they're closing. Now try to breathe with that sensation. It's really difficult. So we have to breathe differently too. So it's not like we are just letting the ribs open and close. As we breathe, you pop one hand on each rib cage and you take a deep breath in. The ribs are expanding sideways, not lifting up and down. So you're trying to breathe in this kind of sagittal motion rather than just, which is not going to help you in dance. It's going to just cause you to throw your weight back. So that sideways feeling is important. Interlace the ribs. Once we have the closing of the ribs, we're able to open across the chest. And that is the most beautiful feeling in the world. That's where the elegance comes from. But it also is one of the most important parts to allow the back to work. So the back will only engage if the abs and the shoulders are in this kind of push and pull kind of resistance with each other. So the back, I want you to imagine you've just gone into the gym and you've taken hold of the lat pull down machine and you're engaging those muscles. You're pulling the shoulder blades down. Feel those muscles engaging, hold on to them, and then see how it changes your posture. And all of a sudden, with the ribs closed, the lats engaged down, the glutes squeezing, the tailbone dropping, the kneecaps lifting, and the weight out of the heels, all of a sudden, all of that together gives you an ounce of feeling of what the grace and control and strength needs to be like in ballet. Can you feel that? If you have been following along, type in how it makes you feel and let me know, because I'd be dying to know if you can feel it. Because it's not easy. So already you should be sweating, you should be tired. There's a lot going on. Hello everyone. Thank you for joining. I'm doing a little bit of a ballet live. I'm answering your questions. I'm talking about posture. I'm talking about ballet technique. And I would love to know your questions. Thank you so much for the heart, Joffrey. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Honestly, as well, if anyone is a dancer and they want to join and they want to, ask me questions or interview, let me know. I would love to have you on. I have a bit of an uncontrollable cough, so I do apologize about that. But yes, it's lovely to be here and it's lovely to see you all. Yeah. And by the way, someone asked me if I like Taylor Swift. I love Taylor Swift. I think her music is great. I think a lot of people give her a lot of hate. But I think she's doing a lot. And, can I ask, how long does a routine take to learn? This is a great question, Joffrey. A routine depends on a lot of factors. It depends, one, on the level of the dancer. So if you're a beginner, it will take longer because we not only have to teach the routine, we have to teach each and every individual step. So there might be a plie, a tendu, a chassé, a balance. There could be all these different movements that if you don't know, it's really difficult. So there's a vocabulary. It's almost like trying to teach someone a paragraph in a language. If they know the language already, it's easier and it's quicker. If they don't know the language, you have to teach it and it takes time. If they know the steps, generally it will take a lot shorter, but it depends again on how difficult the routine is and all of that. So there's lots of factors. There's a lot going on. And I've learned that every single student's different. Some students will literally take 10 minutes, some will take 2. So you just have to be open to it all. And I'm very patient. So coming in your level at auditions, is it easy to understand the routine? I think, again, it depends on the individual. You've got some people who are naturally just so good at picking up choreography. Some people can see it once and then they're like just machines. They just do it. Some people takes longer. I find with myself, I take longer. I'm not so great at picking up. I think I need to really visualize it. I'm quite a visual person. I'm not a logical kind of like, mathematical type of dancer. I'm more feeling and emotions and colors and imagination. Some people are not that way, and you just have to learn what you're like. So I know it takes longer for me, so I have to really focus in auditions to take in the routine as quickly as possible, because unfortunately, if you can't get it quickly, it's usually a goodbye quite quickly, because if they can't see the routine on your body, you're just never going to show them your potential. So that's really difficult, and that can be really challenging to get over as a dancer. So you can improve it. It's like a muscle, but some people are just built, I think, really built mentally to think that way, or their brains are just wired differently and they're just amazingly good at pickup ability. Okay, what have we got here? Live Q&A is a great idea. My question: does ballet posture help you from looking down at the phone as much when out, as the technique posture is a common thing? That is a great question, Joshua. And I am not immune to the technique. I can have pretty bad posture a lot. My posture is not immune. The only difference is I know, see how my posture all of a sudden has just gotten 10 million% better. Because I'm thinking about it. No, I have got a habit to let it go and sink in and let my neck go and look down at my phone. But I think the difference is I'm so aware of what good posture feels like and what correct ballet posture feels like. I can feel the difference, whereas some people might not notice the habits that they pick up. And because my job entails me being aware of my posture and knowing how it feels to hold on to certain muscles, I find when I'm doing tasks, I actually catch myself more and I correct myself more. So that would be the difference. I'm not immune, but I am more aware in aspects. Even when I go to the gym, I train at an amazing gym and it's all about kind of like community group training. And I find that, yeah, I tend to do things like a dancer for a reason. And it's not just habit, it's also I choose to, I guess, use the things I've learned in ballet in my training. But yeah, great question. Love that. Thank you, Joshua. Hey, how are you? I'm great. I'm loving life. Everything's great today. The weather could be better, but I'm not going to complain about that because, it also could be worse. Cool. Thanks. Next question, if okay. What, in your view, sorry, the light is blinding me. What, in your view, from professional dance, is the best dance scene you've ever seen in a film? My goodness, I've never actually thought about that. In a film. Oh my goodness. I might have to mull that one over, Joshua, because there's some pretty amazing classics that I'm probably gonna forget about, and I don't want to disrespect the absolute classics of the world, like Gene Kelly and all these people, Singing in the Rain. That's an amazing, amazing film moment showcasing how dance can just change things. For example, I watched La La Land shown at the cinema recently and I adore the scenes in that. I was actually going to say La La Land is probably a modern example that I am obsessed with. And I was thinking about it recently because Mandy Moore choreographed La La Land and she worked with Emma Stone. And when Taylor Swift was looking for a choreographer, one of her best friends, Emma Stone, was like, "Oh, you should contact Mandy Moore for her Eras tour." And that's how Mandy Moore got in touch and became really good friends with Taylor Swift and became her choreographer. And I think that La La Land speaks for itself. It's beautiful. And I think the thing that Mandy Moore does so well is she creates like really expressive, emotional, beautiful choreography. But it's simple, it's not overthought, it's really natural to the dancer's impulses. And it's not just like this fabrication of like showing off. It's really intuitive and like intentional, I guess is the word. And I think her choreography is amazing. And subsequently, I got to work with Mandy Moore on the Snow White film, and she did an amazing number in that, and that I was in. And I'm sure there's other numbers she was a part of that I knew nothing about the process behind it. But I have to say, working with Mandy Moore, I've worked with so many choreographers on TV and film, and they've been quite, different to her, shall we say. She's just so wonderful. She's full of joy. She checks in with people. She uses everyone's name. She's really kind. Whereas I think a lot of choreographers bring their egos into the room and it's about, okay, how can I make the dance look good? And how can I be perceived as this amazing choreographer, whereas she was just amazing. She put us at ease and put us at the forefront of her mind. And I think that shows in La La Land. She obviously showcased Emma Stone beautifully. And oh my gosh, I've forgotten the name of the male actor. Isn't that terrible? But yeah, just she's incredible. And yeah, I'm trying to think of others. Obviously, I love anything Fosse. I absolutely love Fosse. I'm obsessed. I want to do more Fosse routines in my life. I mean, no one's paying me to do it, so I just have fun doing it here in my lovely home studio space. Um, but yeah, like great question, because I'm gonna have to mull that one over and I might come back to you on the next live with a more elaborate answer. Um, but yeah, Millie's here to join. Please ask her any questions. I'm sure she won't answer. She might knock the camera over. Mandy Moore is a very human choreographer. I find a dance can have a balance between her being super accurate and not 100%, but full of emotion. Emma and Ryan aren't professionals, but it's the emotion that makes it. There you go. I agree wholeheartedly, 100%. It's like you can see how passionate I'm getting about it, because I have been on sets with some amazing choreographers and some that are equally as kind as Mandy Moore, don't get me wrong. But I've also been on sets with people who it's just all about steps and it's about impressive how many movements can I get in this many counts, and let's make this really, really impressive technically. But you're right, she can take a non-dancer actor who has an amazing emotional range and she can do something more impressive with them than if she has the best dancer in the world, but they don't have that emotional range. And I think we, as the watcher, we're not all professional dancers sitting at home watching. We're mostly 99% of us are just human beings who love film, and we connect to other emotion. We connect to things we understand. And most people don't understand if this person has perfect turnout or if this person can get their leg a certain degree higher. It's not about that. It's about emotion. And I think that with my students in class, the students I love to work with are beginners and people who are maybe a little bit older, who didn't have the opportunity to dance when they were young and they missed the boat. And teachers told them, oh, you're not good enough, or you're too old, or you're a man, so you can't dance, or you're too old a woman, you can't dance, or you're too old a man, you can't dance. And they get told these horrible things, so they never dance. And then they realize that they have one life and they want to dance and they have this calling to dance. And I think it's really beautiful connecting with those people and pulling out this passion that they had to shove away for so many years. And honestly, it can make me cry if I think about it for too long, because these people have so much joy and passion for what they do. And I get to facilitate that for them by being the link to the passion. And I feel so lucky. So that's why if you're watching this and you're, not the traditional demographic of dance student, I am talking to you more than I am talking to the student who has danced their whole life or as a child, because you people are my core group and the person I'm trying to reach. I'm trying to reach the people who are passionate, maybe don't have time to go to a group lesson, or you're too scared, or you're older and you feel like you don't have a place that accepts you. I'm here to accept you and to take you on. Most of my students are older men and women, believe it or not. Some of my students are younger and they want, professional careers, but that's just a slightly smaller demographic. Random question, but it's my dinner party go-to. If you had to live in one country for the rest of time based on cuisine, which would it be? Oh my gosh, I love this question. Thank you, Joshua. Please keep them coming, because these are great questions and you're saving me here because no one else is asking questions. Yeah, that's a great one. Ooh, there's so many cuisines I love. my goodness, I could go off on a tangent here. I love so many. I'm trying to think. If you'd asked me this maybe a couple of years ago, I probably would have said Italy just based on the cuisine because it sounds basic, but I love Italian cuisine. I always have. I love pasta. I love, passata. I love like the tomato basil. I love the cheese. I love the wine. I love everything about Italian cuisine. Yeah, easy peasy. Can't go without the pasta and the coffee. Absolutely. But I think as of the last couple of years, it hasn't changed. It's still Italy, but I think Asia is a big place. But I just love South Korean cuisine. I love Thai food. I love Japanese food. I love so many different cuisines in like East Asia. I want to travel more to that side of the world and kind of experience the cuisine there because I think if I'm being honest, it's more mysterious to me because I've started to try it and I started to realize how mind-blowingly beautiful it can be. And just the cultures in general out there, just so diverse, so interesting, so different. And I'm really excited to try more, basically. Thai food locally is great. I concur. On the travel side, still then, how many countries have you traveled to and what's on the list? Okay, another great smashing question. I have traveled, I would say, moderately quite well, and I'm really proud of myself for prioritizing travel. And I'm privileged enough to be able to travel and be in a country with cheap flights. I understand that I don't travel hugely, but I've done quite a bit of travel to Europe. So traveled a lot to France, Italy, Germany, Netherlands, Iceland. I've traveled to, my goodness, where else in Europe? Monaco, Portugal. I'm going to forget loads here. Obviously, loads in my home country of Ireland, Northern Ireland, Wales, England, Scotland. Where else in Europe? I think that's kind of the gist. And then there's so many others I want to travel to in Europe. I'd love to go to Greece. I'd love to go to Romania. Oh yeah, I've been to Croatia. I love Croatia. And then I've done a lot of travel to, like, recently went to Canada. That was incredible. Loved that. I've also been to Bali, out in Australasia. Indonesia. I've also been to Thailand, obviously. I've been to Japan, South Korea. I've been to Singapore. And I think that's kind of the gist of where I have been. But there's so many on the list. I want to go to China. I want to go to Taiwan. I want to go to Philippines. I'd love to go to India. I'd love to go to Egypt. I'd love to go to Morocco. My goodness, my brain's going to forget so many. I'd love to go to Australia, New Zealand, Tasmania. I'd love to go to, eventually, I'd love to visit New York one day, in the future, maybe. I've never been, and I feel like that's sacrilegious. Being a performer, I need to go to Broadway one day. You could do a travel show like the 48-hour Travel Man that Richard Ayoade, I don't know how to say his name, does. That's a great idea. Amazing idea. Stephen, I would love to go to every place you mentioned. I know I basically mentioned any that I could think of. Um, but yeah, I have such a desire to go back to Asia at the moment because I'm so fascinated by it and it's just beautiful. Oh, you're in New York. You don't, I mean, you live there, so you don't need to put it on your list, but is it worth going to? I would be curious. But yeah, let me know in the comments where you think I should visit and where you loved most. And if it happens to be where you live, tell me why you love it. I would absolutely love to know. Um, but yeah, you guys have been amazing fueling these questions. So thank you so much. Keep them coming. Can you tell I'm super tired after teaching? I've just not stood up and taught. I've done a lot of sitting. Not a question, but your videos are very inspirational. My wife was a dancer, also similar passion for dance. So seeing your dance videos is joyful. Oh, thank you. You know, the one incentive that makes me want to post my videos, because I'm actually quite cringed out by my videos and I used to get really embarrassed posting them, but my partner would be like, no, go post, don't worry about other people and just post them. And I started to realize that some people really enjoyed them and I enjoyed making them. So I found that if I could be a source of joy for someone watching, even if they're laughing at me and they're laughing thinking, oh my god, she's so embarrassing, at least I'm making someone laugh and I'm making someone be joyful. So you've just really made me feel like at least my purpose for all of this is somewhat fulfilled. So thank you. The other thing is that I want to find people who love dance and who want to dance more. And like your wife being an ex-dancer, like I want to reach out to people who feel like they've lost maybe a part of them and that they want to dance just for themselves, that whether or not it's to maintain a certain level of fitness or just as a hobby or just as a mental stimulant and just to kind of keep them interested in and feel like they're still connected to something that is so, it's just so overwhelming and so what's the word, like it envelops you, the passion of dance. It's really, really consuming. um ugh, it's a good place. If you are a performer, you have to visit Broadway. Yes, I do need to visit Broadway. Work background question: have you always danced and been self-employed at it, or did you ever have a normal job before dance? That's a great question. I have mainly been a dancer, but there was a time when I was really, really young. I think it was when I was getting my teaching qualifications, because I actually, in Ireland, I'm going to switch sides with my legs again because my legs are falling asleep. Ow. Millie, please. She's going to knock over my cameras now. Please don't do that. Here she comes. Thank you. Yes, so I got my teaching qualifications first because in Ireland there wasn't an awful lot of professional dance avenues, and I wanted to have an academic element to what I did, and I didn't want to just go straight into performing. So I actually trained, thank you, Millie, to be a dance teacher and got all my qualifications first, and then I went on to be a professional later. Yeah, I know Millie she's adorable. You can't be mad at her ever. Yeah, so there was one summer I got a summer job as like an 18-year-old, and I worked in a shop and I really didn't enjoy it. I think ballet school might have broken something in me because it was so strict and so militant that I almost couldn't stand being in an institution anymore that told me what to do. It makes me sound like a horrible person, but ballet school was very rigid and teachers would tell you what to wear and they'd tell you how to do your hair and your makeup and they maybe breathing down your neck and kind of controlling every ounce of your life and time. And it got to the point where I couldn't do it anymore. And I just wanted to be my own person, looking after my own time. So it took me a long time of realizing that that's how I felt to break away from it. And yeah, it kind of eventually I realized it wasn't just a post ballet school thing. It was just like I needed, I thought I just maybe needed a couple of years to overcome that feeling. And then over time I realized actually I think it's ingrained in me that I'm not meant to be in a long-term contract where I get told what to do and where to be and how often I work. And I like to be flexible, and I like to take time to do my own projects and make content and, try different things and travel and see my family when I want to and be home for Christmas, not working on a job. These are all things that are important to me. And I think we all have um, things that are important to us that we don't want to compromise on. And I think you can compromise on them, but eventually it does chip away at you. Um, what is the best tea? Oh, I do love tea. I mean, I love Irish tea, obviously. So like Barry's and gosh, I can't think of any of the others now, which is terrible. But I'm always a sucker for that. But I think over here I have like Lipton's or something. I'm not sure. That sounds quite fancy though. Probably not. Probably something just from Aldi. Um, yeah, I'm not. I like tea, but I'm more of a coffee drinker myself. I like green tea though. I do like green tea. Guys, you've been amazing. Thank you so much. Please keep your questions coming. I'm keeping an eye on both channels, and I'm just answering everyone's questions. So shout out. And then also, if anyone wants to join for like a shared session, please let me know, because I've never done that and I think it'd be super fun. But yeah, dance is an amazing route, but it's really similar to other career paths that you'd probably be surprised about. Which do you find more creative to make, YouTube shorts or a full video? Well, I find it easier to do shorts for sure, because like little dance routines are kind of, I find that a kind of release for me. I'm not really doing it for the internet. I'm doing it because I want to learn a routine and I want to like edit the video and I want to make it look really cool. And the longer those videos get, the harder it is to kind of keep control of every aspect. But I'm trying to do longer videos because I do want to get to know my audience a bit better and my audience to get to know me a bit better. And I think the only way to do that is to have longer videos. And yeah, if you guys have any ideas of what you'd like to see, whether it's short or long form videos, shout out, because I'm going to definitely take it into account within the next couple of weeks, because I'm going to be doing a lot of content in the next few weeks. Like I really just want to share a little bit more. So for example, I'm currently working on a long form video that I'm hoping to post today/tomorrow. Probably not today, but it's for just like me on my travels and somewhere I went recently. And I'm going to just like show what I did. And I hope that's kind of showcasing a little bit of my personality to you guys. But if you want to see something different, I would love to know. I'm going to do a lot more dance videos as well. How about a video, learn enough ballet in an hour to impress your friends? That's a good idea, for sure. Never thought about that. But yeah, definitely want to do more long videos. That's on the agenda for sure. Do I like the UK? Sorry, Casey, didn't see that. Yeah, I do. I think like anywhere, there are ups and downs of any place you live. And I think it has become quite an expensive country. And it's obviously got its upsides and downsides, but I think it's great. I think it's got some amazing jobs for performers, musicians, singers, dancers, actors. I think there's a lot going on, and I think I'm very grateful that I get to live here and I get to have the opportunities that arise. Doesn't mean that I don't realize that it can be really tough in other ways, you know, like it's got its ups and downs, but you have to take them with every single place in the world that you choose to live. But yeah, great question. Trying to think, what else do I love about being self-employed? It's just, I like the freedom. I like being able to wake up every day and I could be doing something really random. You know, you could be walking down the street and all of a sudden get a booking for a job that you've wanted for years, but also you could be waiting around for years for the job that you always wanted. So you have to just be consistent and keep going and just not give up. And that can be really, really hard, for sure. But yeah, I want to know a little bit more about you guys. Let me know, what do you do? Where do you live? Give me a little bit of an insight. I'm really, really interested. Self-employed is the most empowering as you are creating something rather than working for other people's visions. Exactly. This is what I feel deep in my soul. You're also, you're working towards someone else's, I guess, growth of their income and their vision, and you're a cog in their machine. Whereas if you're self-employed, you at least feel like you're working towards your vision. But then with that comes the anxiety and the stress of being completely in control, and you end up doing 5 jobs instead of 1 job for someone else. So there are ups and downs, and I get very envious of people who do have the salary job and the freedom to be able to relax on the weekend, to be able to go, okay, this is my 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and I can just switch off after 5 p.m. and relax. I wish. My job does not allow me to do that. My job is very much constant, and I could get an email on a Sunday evening in the middle of an important occasion, and then all of a sudden I am having to reply to that email, and that's just how it is. But yeah, stress and anxiety for self-employed, yes, but anything great and worthwhile is not without difficulty. There we go. That is a wise saying, wise view on it, because you're right. It is difficult, but it's difficult because it is a passion. It is you making your own way with something that you care about in the world. And you're right, there's a reason why most people, get deterred from doing this career path, because it makes you feel sometimes like you are failing and you are not good enough. But that's just the waves of the industry. Sometimes it's busy, sometimes it's not as busy, so you have to be able to ride those waves and fill in the gaps with other things. Otherwise, you will go crazy. And I have seen it. I've seen people take the same job they hate over and over and over as a professional dancer, just because they don't want to feel the feeling of not having something. And that's really tough. Answering your questions, I am from the UK, southwest near Bristol and Bath. Oh, no way. My partner's family are all from that neck of the woods. So that's really exciting. And Bath is beautiful. Really, really gorgeous part of the country. I love it down there. And I actually have family in Bristol too. So there you go. Hi, Andre. I am doing a Q&A, answering everyone's questions and just kind of, um, yeah, just getting to know you all so you can also get to know me. Another quote slash phrase for you working. Oh, okay. I'll let you rephrase the question. Don't worry, typos happen. Um, hello, hello. Thank you for joining. It's so nice to see so many of you. Hello, hello. Um, but yeah, it's all peaks and troughs, isn't it? No matter what you do. Loads of my friends just work in employment, and you have to deal with the monotony of life and that job, and you have to fill your life with other things that keep your life interesting. Whereas in my life, I actually crave a little bit of time off and stability and an organized trip to kind of just like take me out of the stress of the up and down. So we all have our thing that we wish we could change about our lives and about our jobs. That's okay. Um, Life be that way sometimes. But thank you guys. I'm loving all these questions. I'll answer a couple more and then I will dip off. Another quote slash phrase: being an artist is hard, but also doing something you hate for a life is hard. Did you hear that, everyone? I don't know who needed to hear this. I'll say it again. Being an artist is hard, but also doing something you hate for life is hard. So true. And I felt this when I had to finally decide what I wanted to do with my life. I had the realization that I was like, oh, I guess I'm gonna have to stop dancing and I'll have to like find this other career path of, I was gonna go into some medical area of some kind, like where I was helping people in hospitals and that sort of thing. And I was like, okay, I guess that's it. And I remember thinking in my head, like, I guess you're not going to be a dancer. Or like, it was something like, oh, I guess you'll be a dancer in another lifetime then. And it cut me into a million pieces. I was like, I have one life and I am a dancer and I can't choose not to be a dancer because it's in me and it's who I am. And that's genuinely how I felt, which I think is really amazing, because I don't think I would have chosen it if it didn't feel like it was not a choice, if that makes sense. Um, it was the film The Last Showgirl, starring Pamela Anderson, which came out a little while ago. Yeah, I mean, that epitomizes it. It's life is going to be difficult in some ways, and you just have to remember that we're on this planet for a short amount of time to make an impact in a positive way, and try not to just try not to, sorry, I just had something pop up there. Try not to like just give up on your dreams and your passions and the things that you care about, and being a kind person. It should be intertwined into everything we do. And even if you're doing a job you don't love, you can find a way to bring who you are and what you love into it. And I really do believe that. But yeah, it's hard to face up to that. And I can so see why, being who I am and doing what I do, I can so see why people get put off this career path. And so many people I know actually end up quitting or eventually just retraining into something else. And that's okay too, because sometimes you need to venture this path to know that it's not for you, or that you only want to do it in one capacity. Like some people just want to perform and they just want to be a dancer and they don't want to teach and they don't want to do other jobs and they don't want to hustle and bustle. which is completely fair. But I do think that's just what it requires. Ooh, I'm going to move my legs again because I'm taking turns with each leg falling asleep and going pins and needles. But yes, thank you all for joining, and thank you for all the amazing questions, mainly from Joshua and from other people. But you've all just been super, super nice, and thank you for watching. I think both dance and music are the universal language of the world. I agree. I think when you dance for a living or you do music for a living, I do think you realize how important it is in just day-to-day life, and kind of it brings so much joy, and like it just brings so much escape and creativity, and it just allows you to like reconnect with all the things that we're taught in childhood that are important, like play and freedom of expression. It's just really important. Most welcome. Have been nice to see and interact on the Q&A. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm actually going to sign off. Thank you for watching. This was my first one, but I'm going to be doing more for sure. Thank you to each and every person that stayed and watched and listened. I appreciate you so much. Please, if you don't follow me or subscribe to me, please do. And yeah, let's do this again. Thank you guys. Bye.